All right, so we're gonna jump into example number 2. In this example, we're practicing high order derivatives, and the function that are given to us is 5 plus 3 times the square root of x plus 2 over x. And we're gonna find the first derivative, and then the second derivative, and then find the second derivative of f at 5. We just have to be careful here, right? And we have to remind ourselves that whenever we see a square root or a the variable as a denominator, that we have other tools, and that we need to first rewrite it in a power form. So the 5 stays the same. The square root times the 3 is going to turn into a power form as x to the 1/2 plus, and then the x on the denominator of 2 can be that term can be rewritten as 2 times x to the -1, right? Because we can move that variable to the numerator by changing the sign. So now this is the original function. We haven't taken the derivative yet, but I think it's important for us to write it in power form, right? All right, so now let's take the first derivative. The first derivative by using power form is by looking at the 5. The derivative 5 is 0, so we're not gonna write it. Plus the derivative of 3 times x to the 1/2. Well, we're gonna take the 1/2, multiply it to the 3, so it'll be 3 times 1/2 is 3 over 2. Leave the x as it is, and then take away 1 from the 1/2. 1/2 minus 1 is -1/2. Plus, and then 2 times x to the -1. Again, using power rule, combination of power rule with a constant multiple rule. Multiply 2 into -1. That will give us -2 or -2 times x, and then take away 1 from -1. So -1 minus 1 is -2. So there you go. We found the second. We found the first derivative. Now, we could rewrite this in radical form and in positive exponents, but since we're gonna need it to find the second derivative, might as well take advantage of the first derivative being written as in power form. So let's take the second derivative. So this will be using power rule and constant multiple rule. So it'll be 3/2 times -1/2 will be -3 over 4 times x, and then -1/2 minus 1 will be -3/2. Right? You can kind of do that in your head, but or using a calculator. So it'll be -1/2 minus 2 over 2 will be -3 over 2. And then minus 2, so bring down this to over here, right? Bring down the power, using power rule, we'll have -2 times -2, which becomes +4 times x, and then take away 1 from -2. Again, -2 minus 1, right? -2 minus 1 is going to be -3. And there you go, right? This is technically the second derivative of the function, and we could rewrite this so it looks like a radical expression. So let's do that, but we don't actually have to if we're not asked to do that, right? So 4 over x to the third, and then we can do one more step here. We can rewrite this 3 over 2 power means that is a square root, and then x to the third. All right, so that's the second derivative of the function. And then to find f double prime of 5, all we gotta do is use direct substitution. So everywhere we see an X, we'll replace it with a 5. And then for this, we're gonna just use a calculator. So here is a TID4. Let me clear this up. So we will have -3, and I think it's, for me, it's important for you guys to be able to do this also. So if you have your calculator in front of you, please go ahead and do that. So divided by, and this is kind of important, but in order for us to actually put these two together, this needs to be a parenthesis, and this fraction bar is what it's doing, right? It's grouping those two together. So we have to group them. So before times the square root, second square root, 5 to the third power. All right. Now, if I leave it right here and I keep writing, my number is going to be an exponent. If I leave it here, my next number will be inside the square root. So I click more to the right. And now I'm outside. So now I can close this parenthesis, right? So we got to be careful how the computer uses the order operation. I mean, the calculator follows order operation, so we have to be careful that we type it properly. The next one is kind of easy. It's just going to be 4 divided by 5 to the third power. There you go. I'm going to click enter. And there you go, right? We got negative, we're just going to write it here. Negative 0.03508, right? And there you go. That's it, right? All right. So remove that calculator. All right. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys next time.